Thanks, Andreas, and nice to meet everyone. As Andreas mentioned, my name is Stefan, and I'm co-founder with AskCody, and I'm really excited to present for you today and to talk about meeting management and some of the trends that we see in this space, and also give you an insight into what we have been working on in the product. We have some really cool functionality, very much built with and for law firms that we are excited to show you. For the next 45-50 minutes, we'll just start up with a little introduction to AskCody, just so you have an idea of who we are and how we fit into this space. Then we will talk a little bit about some of the trends that we are seeing in this space from participating at ILSACon and talking with you guys, and of course also from working with law firms all over the world. So share some of the insights into trends and tendencies that we are seeing. Then we'll dig into a very exciting case with Sugarcane and Bacon, where we have Luke, who will give you some insight into the journey they've been on with AskCody and what kind of challenges they were faced with, and why they were looking towards AskCody to help some of those solve some of those challenges around meeting management. And then we'll dig into spotlight on some of these features and functionality that we've been working on, and also give you an insight into the roadmap and what is coming up next. And then, as mentioned, we'll end off with a little Q&A session where you get to ask any questions you might have. We have an exciting program to take you through, and I'm really excited to get started here. Just to introduce you to AskCody, just so you have an idea of who we are and where we fit into the space. We've been in the meeting management and resource scheduling space for the past 6, 7, 8 years, with offices in both Boston, Massachusetts in the US, and in Denmark. We are servicing our law firm customers throughout all over the world. We have been business partners with ILSA for the past, I think, 5 to 6 years, and participated at ILSACon, both physical and also while it was a virtual event during COVID. Really enjoyed the conversation and the relationships that we have built with a lot of you guys. Thanks for being part of that community. If any of you joined ILSACon here a few weeks ago in Atlanta, it was great to meet you. AskCody, we're on a mission to help organizations and law firms manage meetings smarter. That is really what we are passionate about. And that means that we're looking to help our customers remove friction in meeting management, meaning taking out all the friction when it comes to booking and managing all the resources in the workplace. It also means that we are looking to help connect the worker and the workplace, meaning the physical workspace, dynamically by giving insight and give visibility into the workplace and the resources and how they're being utilized and how you can optimize your resources. We're very much also looking to help simplify daily operations introduced when it comes to meeting management for the key individuals that we know are so important and an integral part of meeting management at law firms: the office managers, the conference services teams, the hospitality teams, the catering teams, the receptionists, and of course also other back office teams such as finance. They are really the superheroes when it comes to meeting management and making sure that that everyone looks good when it comes to tackling the meeting challenge. So that is very much what we're focused on. And then we are focused on helping increase operational efficiency and drive down workplace overhead, and of course help increase utilization of your resources. Your law firms typically have offices in the nicest buildings in the biggest cities of the world, where the real estate prices are high. So if we can help you increase utilization of your resources and maybe even help you optimize the assets on your balance sheet, then there's a huge gain there to be had. So that's really the mission that we're on. And the reason why we're so focused on helping organizations and helping law firm manage meetings smarter is that at a law firm, meetings are just a necessary part of running your business. Meetings support the core business. That's where you meet with your clients, you build relationships, you consult, you provide your service. So that is really an integral part of the core business at a law firm. But meeting management can also be super complex, and it can really be time consuming if you don't have the right functionality and the right technologies in place. Let's take an example of a typical meeting at a law firm with a few or with multiple locations. a meeting organizer needs to schedule a meeting across, let's say, 2-3 locations, meaning you then need to search for and find and book the best suitable rooms across those locations and make sure that the right equipment and the right services are available in those rooms and book those. You might need to set up services such as catering or maybe a specific room setup, or you might need IT support across those 2-3 locations or rooms, where you need to then make sure that you're booking the right services from the right conference services teams at those locations. That might also need to take into account preparation time or cleanup time, and you might need to be able to manage client matter numbers or general ledger for those service requests for cost center management and for invoicing. For those meetings, you might have external clients coming on site, where you need to register your guests at the front desk so that your receptionists know who's coming and can welcome them and provide a great experience for your clients. Your conference service teams needs to be notified about the services and be able to manage that on the back end and have an overview of what do you need to deliver where. Come the day of the meeting, then you have to you have clients coming on site that when they're on site, you need to notify the meeting hosts or organizer of arrival. The service teams need to make sure that the services are set up on time and with all the right amenities so that the meeting can start on time and your clients have a great experience. After the meeting, you need to then clean up the room and set it back to default. Maybe once a week or bi-weekly or monthly. Your finance team needs to go in and create maybe a settlement and see how many orders with catering did we have, and do we need to do any invoicing and cost recovery on that. Your facility team might need to want an overview of how we're actually utilizing our resources, and maybe that investment we just did in technology, is that being utilized, or should we repurpose some of our rooms, or should we have more visiting attorney offices or more desks or more physical workspace or what have you. So you see, there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to meeting management. And if you don't have the right functionality and the right platform in place, a 1-hour meeting can easily be a 4 or 5 hour meeting when you encounter in all the meeting logistics, and especially if you don't have the right tools and the right functionality in place to help optimize and streamline that. So that is really the problem that we are helping law firms solve. And the way we do that is through our platform that is a cloud-based SaaS platform that really builds on top of Microsoft technologies, and that's something that David will talk more about. And where we have the platform that really consists of the 4 core features that you see here. So it's around bookings and how we can help you easily book your resources, whether it's a conference room or it's a visiting attorney office or it's a desk. But across Outlook, across mobile, and across display, we make it easy to book and manage the resources in your workplace. We provide extensive functionality to manage services so that it's easy to set up catering or room setup or IT support or facility services, and notify the right individuals about those services and empower your teams to then manage that on the back end. We can help you manage your guests and visitors through and help provide an enhanced white glove experience to really provide this next level experience for your guests when coming on site, with where they receive notifications before coming on site. Your receptionist can provide a great experience by knowing who is coming. You can automate the notifications of arrival to your meeting host, and so forth. All in all, just to give a great experience. And then finally, we can give insight into how you're utilizing your offices and how you're utilizing your resources. So really a one-stop shop for meeting management in Outlook and Microsoft 365. And that is being utilized by a lot of law firms globally, both AMLA 100, AMLA 200, and NLJ 500 firms, as well as smaller firms. So we build up a lot of expertise and insights into that. And that insight and working with a lot of law firms and also being at ILSACON, that gives us some great insight into what are the trends we're seeing, or what are the tendencies. And then let's just spend a few minutes here before we then hear from Luke and dig into the case with Shuk. There's no doubt that overall we see 3 trends that are very apparent across the board when we're talking to law firms. It is that you're looking for something that is easy to adopt. You're looking for something that typically is native to Microsoft, and you're looking to empower your office teams with a great overview of the office. So let's try and dig into these three trends. So with ease of adoption, it is definitely apparent that you're looking for something that is easy to book meetings and to manage services and manage guests and visitors. I don't think it's any secret that there is a big difference in the tech savviness of workers in a law firm. If you're thinking of an attorney or partner that might not be the most tech savvy or interested in new technology. So to get them on board or get the LEA on board or get everyone on board, it's really important that it's easy to adopt. And also that it is in Outlook. That's definitely also a trend we're seeing, that lawyers, they live and breathe Outlook. So why not give them the functionality there rather than having to navigate to different platforms or to different tools and then have to maintain and update meetings across their different tools that are not speaking together. And then finally, in this hybrid day and age with so many video conferencing meetings, being able to easily set up a Teams meeting or Zoom meeting, that is key. We also see around integration with Microsoft that a lot of law firms are right now investing heavily in cloud technologies and in migrating to Microsoft 365. So typically looking for a functionality that is a natural extension of your IT strategy with Microsoft technologies and other modern cloud technologies, rather than having another heavy tool that is not easily integrated with Microsoft. It's a law firm, so security, reliability, scalability, that is key to help standardize the experience across the board. And of course also user management and login and permissions. It should be easy to set up to really support larger law firms when it comes to how your user identity management and so forth. That is key to take care of that. And then finally, it is important that you empower the conference service teams or the back office teams and to give them a great overview of the workplace. The superheroes of the law firm, the conference service team, the catering team, the facility team, is really important. They have a great overview of the workplace and can help optimize meeting management on the back end, and that you have something that integrates all the different units so that you have one single platform to manage everything rather than relying on a lot of different point solutions. That is really a key and a driver to help optimize the meeting channels. So those are some of the trends and tendencies that we're seeing, and I hope that also is something that you see for yourself in your firms. And a firm that has been on this journey with us over the past several years, and also been following some of these trends, and I think that's been part of the journey. That is AskCody and Bacon, and with that, I would like to introduce you to Luke. Luke, can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Luke. Thanks so much for joining. I appreciate it, and that you're taking some time out of your busy schedule. And it's also great to meet you at DeltaCon a few weeks ago. Luke, can you maybe just to start off, can you describe for me AskCody and Bacon as a firm, and also your role with AskCody?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Luke Schneblin. Oh, and for the people on the webinar, if you could type in the chat who you are, where you're from, and why you're here, that would be good for me. I'll make a blanket statement and say, if you have any questions about how we use AskCody before, during, or after this webinar, want to know real life examples, have a certain scenario, might be on the fence, I'd be happy to talk to you. And that's an unpaid advertisement. That's just, I'm happy to talk to anyone. So first, let me introduce myself. I'm the Director of Professional Development at AskCody and Bacon. I work in our Kansas City, Missouri office. I will be going to the Chiefs game tomorrow night to see them beat the Detroit Lions. And I was thinking about this in kind of football terms when I was reading through Stefan's slides. And really what AskCody allows you to do is be the best quarterback for your firm with regards to meeting management. And that's a really cheesy metaphor. But what we needed a few years ago wasn't just a new meeting management solution. Our tool was kind of just old, to be perfectly frank. It didn't work well. It didn't integrate well. I met the folks from AskCody at ILTA conference. I think it was in Washington, D.C. And we just had a great dialogue. And rather than selling me on here's everything that we can do and promising the moon, they really tried to understand what our needs were and work backwards from that. And so we have 20 offices all over. Like Stefan said, really nice offices and really nice places and a lot of moving pieces and parts. And then we had a pandemic, which threw in some hybrid work. And so our journey has really been great, working and interacting with the folks at AskCody, from purchasing to implementation to just ongoing support. We had a lot of time to think about what we needed during the pandemic and how we were going to utilize space differently. And that's kind of an ever-changing environment. Also, when you're adding new offices or lateral groups or hoteling or changing the way you use the space, AskCody really gives the power to not only the user, the end user booking the meeting management or the meeting, but also the people behind the scenes. So your people that are in charge of facilities or catering. And it puts all of that information really up front in a visually pleasing way so that the experience is kind of synonymous with Outlook. And then when you go behind the scenes into like AskCody Central, it can be a really great experience for many users. And the bar of adoption goes up really quickly. I know that's a term that's thrown around at ILTA. People are afraid of change, but when you integrate something like this tool, the tool itself works exactly the way you want it to. If you have a question or if you have a unique scenario at your firm, there's someone at AskCody that will take your call. And I draw by the booth at ILTA in Orlando at the AskCody booth. And that's one of the things I said is, it's not, okay, we received your request, we'll respond back in 24 hours. It's usually, hey, can we hop on the phone right now? I have one of my engineers or so-and-so, some person that can help remedy this and or talk about this as like a feature request.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke. So I think definitely a lot of interesting things you mentioned here around some of the motivation for looking into a new meeting management solution and some of the things that you're looking to solve here. Maybe just a little around the footprint. So yeah, we have around 20 offices and I think 180 rooms that we help you manage. So we're quite a big firm there. Can you maybe take us through the process of booking a meeting and managing services for meetings before and after AskCody? What was the end user experience like before you introduced AskCody and what's been like afterwards?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a perfect example. I manage the new associate orientation. So we have 27 new associates joining on Monday. 4 years ago, that process was 2 disparate systems. So our catering people would look in the system, our facilities people, our LAAs would look in the room management system, and then hope that all of that information was also in Outlook, on SharePoint, wherever those booking points were. And so fast forward to today, and I'm in crunch time because we have people traveling in from all over the world to come to Kansas City on Monday. You're able to see everything up front. So, hey, 10 more people said they're going to join the new associates for lunch. We need a bigger room. How many people can fit in a room fire code wise? Can I squeeze in a few more people there? Are there other rooms available? If not, could maybe we swap with someone who has that meeting booked? There's so much more visibility to the end user, the administrator, the people behind the scenes, just kind of the people booking the rooms for other meetings. Or another example would be we need to add a Zoom link to have people come in from a remote location, or maybe multiple Zoom locations, or maybe just one person's at home. The dramatic difference. I mean, I try not to think of the before, to be perfectly transparent. It's not, it was like, oh, back in the day we used that. I can't believe we used it for that long. Now it's more, we're trying to kind of push the boundaries of how well we can use the system. And I know that some of the new features that you all were talking about at ILTACon are some things we've been pressing for, but I think it's not features that we're missing. It's features that make the management process better for all of those people involved. Um, another kind of scenario would be if someone was out of the office in our old system, like if the facilities or catering person was out of the office, you'd have to wait to move the needle forward on whatever that meeting or thing was. And now there's a lot more opportunity for less bottleneck. There's a lot less bottlenecks where you can get all the information put in there. Someone else can act on that person's behalf, or maybe multiple people can act on that person's behalf, and you can make progress, because that's a scenario that happens a lot at law firms where an attorney says, kind of, I need this yesterday, or I need this right now. And with AskCody, almost every time we're able to do that.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Luke, you mentioned that one of the things that you have realized, or that one of the outcomes was removing bottlenecks. What other benefits, outcomes, or effects of implementing AskCody have you seen on your organization when you think about it holistically?
I think room utilization. So before you'd be presented, we have rooms with dramatic names and fancy names, or named after partners or cities or whatever, but you don't know. With AskCody, we have a visual. So if I'm scheduling this meeting from San Francisco and I need to book a meeting in the Boston office, I can see the room. I can see what types of technology are there. And you can adjust that accordingly. Like if the video board goes out in one of those rooms, you can make that change and know that's not an option. So that room isn't presented. I think too, from a meeting space management perspective, generally it's like a alphabetical order, or this room's always on top, so I'm going to pick that room. And if it's a room, a deposition or a client meeting for 5 people, you don't want to book your largest conference room for 50 people. It might be easiest because it's at the top of the list, but I think that is something, as we've understood kind of how this hybrid workplace will extend itself and maybe forever be a thing. I think making sure you're utilizing the rooms that are best fit for that meeting. 2, I think you're able to take a really good look at, do we need all of these rooms for meetings anymore, or can we utilize this space? I think that's almost like a future question that Shook is asking. Another example specifically for me was, we had 5 training rooms in Kansas City, and we took a look at the first few years of using AskCody of pure utilization and realized that maybe one day a long time ago, we had a need for that many training rooms all the time, but we're able to give that room back to the firm, or give some of those rooms back to the firm and use those for other things. And that's been a huge benefit that we've actually realized.
Awesome. It sounds meaningful, and that's really been able to create a meaningful difference at Chuk. So that is awesome. I think just the final question here, just looking ahead, anything that you'd like to see AskCody improve in the future, or any projects or initiatives that you're working on where you see like AskCody can be the stepping stone for that as well?
I think it's probably available features, but something we haven't utilized yet. But I think hoteling, being able to tie rooms to phone numbers for co-working office space, and being able to provide what the IT department wants behind the scenes. I'm kind of the face of it, and my team shows people how to use AskCody. But I think working with the numerous IT departments to ensure, okay, this works with the floor map, and this works if this person logs in with their Zoom phone, and then the thing outside the door says their name so that people come in the office know who's there, who's in the meeting, those types of things. I think a lot of those features are all readily available, but I think it's continuing to look ahead at space utilization and really capitalizing on your investment so that you can show your senior leadership, hey, we might not need this much space, and or we should repurpose this space and use it for other things.
Yep. Yeah, and that's great feedback, and definitely something. Yeah, the feedback that you're providing in all firms we take very seriously, and very much sets the direction for the product. And I think actually that's a very good segue into talking about the product and our direction and what kind of feedback we've received over the past years, and how that has now been translated into some new functionality that we're excited to show. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, David, who will like to give you some insight into that. And Luke, thanks so much for joining here and sharing a little bit about your journey. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Luke, and thanks, Stefan. It's really nice to be here and share this space with you guys. Let's get started. My name is David. As we said, I'm a product manager here at AskCody, where I work tightly with the development team and together with my colleagues in product to shape the direction of our products to solve challenges for customers out there, where we really take very much feedback into consideration every single time we evaluate on what's next, what should we focus on now. So yeah, we're really grateful to have this possibility to share these spaces also with you, to hear straight from you what you think about the things we're working on. So we're very excited to share what we have in the presentation for you. Now, as Stefan mentioned earlier in the presentation, our platform offers a series of interfaces to meet the user where they are. These interfaces are such as add-ins for Outlook. We know that users, well, they've been using Outlook for years, so we actually put in our products in the form of add-ins for both scheduling rooms, ordering catering, or special services for meetings such as cleaning, or perhaps a table setup or layout for a specific type of meeting. We also have a visitor management module that consists of the add-in for Outlook for people to register guests at the reception. We also have check-in screens for people to register at the reception of the lobby when they show up unannounced, for example. We have a comprehensive video management, web app, room displays, and dashboards. So we really try to encompass the whole meeting life cycle to try and provide users with meaningful experiences for them to efficiently manage meetings. However, today we're going to focus on one section of this platform, is specifically a product called Workplace Central, which basically helps employees control the activities of the workplace. So let's just dive in it. Earlier this year, we released Workplace Central. As we said, it's a control center that helps get an overview of the activities of the organization. So all of the meetings in specific locations, or across different locations in the organization, so that we can have a comprehensive view of what's going on. So we can see for a specific meeting whether that meeting has attendees with specific needs. Whether there are services attached to that type of meeting, such as catering, or services provided by facility management, which can be some sort of IT equipment that's been requested for the room, or as I said earlier, a specific room layout. But when we released this overview, we knew that we needed to give our customers a lot more. We needed to give our customers a lot more power and a lot more control in order for them to be able to think of AskCody as the right hand, like a colleague helping you manage meetings. After we released Workplace Central, we actually gave meeting coordinators even more flexibility by adding a more compact view in a list format, such as the one you're seeing now on the screen, where we can actually see the meetings kind of sequentially, giving an even broader overview of the activities of the workplace. So we can very easily see in the order that we choose what are the activities that are happening today or on a specific day at the workplace, and their locations, and basically everything that is related to that meeting. after having released this, we also realized that, well, this is also not enough. We know that this is barely the first step into empowering organizations with the tools they need to really be masters of meetings, to really think of meetings as a second nature and do it as easy as they imagine. So for that, I am excited to present two of the latest additions that we've added to the AskCody platform. One is available, one is in the works, but will soon be made available, that we believe will really take meeting management to the next level. We know how valuable time is, and streamlining processes for meeting preparations can be a daunting process and can be very challenging, because there are so many stakeholders that just need to be aligned, that just need to be coordinated, so that everything is ready at the right place and at the right time. And at AskCody, we're very conscious of this, and our goal has always been to simplify meeting management. Therefore, today, we'd like to introduce these two new features. We'd like to introduce power rescheduling and services for recurring meetings, which we believe fit quite well for the work style of law firms. In the organization type of a law firm, technology should not disrupt. It should seamlessly integrate and should feel as natural as a team member who effortlessly manages meetings, and basically like a colleague that's sitting next to you, helping you do your job or making your job easier daily. Research from the American Bar Association proves that employees use actually 2.5 times more time in managing meetings than setting them up, than creating them. And that is a lot of time. That is really, really a lot of time that takes into just managing meetings and making sure that everything fits in the right place. This really shows that the real challenge with meetings is actually the management. It's actually preparing and making sure that everything fits in the right place, not only location-wise, but also so that everything that needs to be delivered is delivered in place and ready to start. This is why our focus this year has been on enhancing this management workflow, so really improving the meeting management process. So diving into power rescheduling, let's start there. With power rescheduling, key employees in your organization, such as meeting and service or workplace coordinators, are really putting the driver's seat when it comes to managing events in the workplace. And it's really as easy as they imagine. Meeting or service or workplace coordinators are logistics masters. These people know the organization in and out, and they need to constantly be in full control of the activities of the workplace. They need to understand how everything is connected and how everything can be changed if that is the need. Because they're usually the ones that end up rescheduling meetings and juggling between conference rooms to make everything work as it should. And with power rescheduling, with this feature that we're actually going to show in a moment, these power users in your organization will now have the ability to, just as you are seeing there in the animation, just dragging and dropping events in Workplace Central to reschedule them, regardless of the room they're in or who the meeting organizer is. In this way, when these people are tasked with managing the workplace activities, they're able to do it optimally and as they imagine, without any boundaries, because they just ask to move stuff around, then they should have the tools to do so. And of course, when doing changes to any type of meeting, everybody gets notified. So the meeting organizer gets notified, the attendees also get notified in case the place or time is changed, and so does catering providers or workplace services also. Without further ado, let's actually jump into a short demo where we can see how it works. Right here, I am in the AskCody management portal. This is one of the interfaces that we have, and more specifically inside Workplace Central. Now, just as a little recap, Workplace Central provides you with an overview of the activities of the workplace, where here I can see different, like a grid, where I have columns with the meeting room names, where I can just click on the columns to see the amenities and what are the capabilities of those that specific meeting room. And I also have the time right here, so I can see when meetings are taking place. If I click on a meeting card, for example, I will be able to see information about it, where I can see information such as who is attending, services assigned to it, and I can just go ahead and dive further in case I need to add something to those meetings. I also have the possibility of seeing this in a more comprehensive way, such as the list view that we recently added. So when you click on list, you'll be able to see this in a more, let's just say, compact form. And if you ask me, a bit easier to digest when I'm trying to get a full overview of what's going on in the day in the organization. Now, if we, going back to the grid right here, if we, for example, get a request saying that, well, the meeting room statute here, it actually needs to undergo maintenance because the projector or the screen in it broke, therefore it cannot be used for meetings. Then for me, as a conference services manager, it would be, or a meeting or workplace manager, it would be really easy for me to free that room and actually block it from booking, because all I need to do is make sure that this meeting that will take place here actually can be moved around into a different meeting. So what I can easily do is just simply drag and drop, as you see here. I drop it, and then it's synchronizing with Exchange, because we are deeply, and we have a native integration with Microsoft Exchange, so we do not have a separate calendar system. We actually process changes in Exchange on real time. Therefore, this change that you saw right here actually also happened in Microsoft Exchange, and everybody that was participating in this meeting got a notification saying, well, that the room actually changed from statute to the appeal in this case. What I can do right now simply is go ahead and in Outlook simply book this room for the day, which I can just do here by opening Outlook side by side, for example, and opening the meeting rooms calendar. I can just simply say that on the 7th of September in the statutes calendar, I'm just gonna go in and block this for maintenance, and it's an all-day event. And that's it. Then I'm done with Outlook. And I can, right here. And then within 30 seconds, this page will be updated, effectively blocking the statute meeting room. There it is, statute meeting room, so that no one else can book it, and then maintenance can be performed in it. Now, if I need to notify the maintenance team or the facility management team, then I can also just do that. But this is how easy it is to manage meeting rooms with Workplace Central, and how easy it is to move stuff around. This was a case where a meeting room needed to go at maintenance, but it's the same if I, for example, need to move a meeting around because of one of the cases that Luke brought up, which was, well, I have 10 more people joining, I have 5 more people joining. How can we accommodate that? I can just easily see where can I fit those more people by actually juggling through the different meeting rooms, and then say, well, this actually fits the right number of people. So I'm just going to move the meeting there just by dragging and dropping, and then I can just find different places for my meeting rooms. So this is a very powerful feature. We just released it, and we're very excited to get get it in your hands and for you to start using it. Yes. So going back to the presentation really quick. To recap, with Power Rescheduling, your organization will be in full control of the activities in the workplace with the help of unrestricted rescheduling and multi-room, multi-user management. We're also happy to say, as I said, that this feature is available now, and you have access to it in your AskCody account. So as long as you're an AskCody customer, you can start using this basically as soon as you're ready. And yeah, we look very much forward for you to start using it. Now, moving on to the second feature that I want to spotlight today, it's services for recurring meetings. Now, going back to the mission that Stefan mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, we are really trying to make technology an enabler who feels like second nature in our workplaces. And one of the top requested features that we've had in AskCody is to support services for recurring meetings. Because when it comes to law firms, recurring meetings, you guys know it. It is really second nature. On average, on the medium-sized law firms, over 50% of meetings are recurring meetings. Just because when a case is being investigated, a case is being handled, there's a lot of case reviews, there's a lot of litigations, there's a lot of meetings that client meetings that need to happen, and then meetings just are recurring. It's just the nature of them. So we of course need to support this space as well. Leveraging on our native Microsoft integration and under the hood improvements that our team has made, we're proud to say that our team has already taken the first step in supporting services for recurring meetings, where we have added, for now at least, we have added a single instance management for recurring meetings, where you can go ahead and add services request services for meetings, such as catering or such as any facility management services or IT service provided by your organization, to instances of recurring meetings. Then you can easily choose which meeting gets what. And we have already added this. We have already made this available. And this is the very first step into supporting services for recurring meetings. Now, being the integrated platform that we are, and just going back to the multiple interfaces that we have, we need to make sure and communicate that services and different requests are actually for a recurring meeting, so that people that are in charge of them can make the right decisions and can actually make specific accommodations for those types of meetings. Now, as you can see here, what we're looking at is a screenshot of one of the pages in our services platform, where we can see current requests. This is usually something that someone sitting in the services part of the organization sees. So what we're looking at here is the Boston services provider that has gotten requests for a recurring meeting, a case review that takes place both on the 11th of August and the 18th of August, where we have a request for cleaning and a request for a lunch buffet. And this really shows a clear view of the services being for a recurring meeting. Now, the next step in this journey is to add the follow the meeting intelligence capabilities to the service orders, so that if a meeting is rescheduled or canceled, any service request associated to it will follow, keeping everyone up to speed in the workplace activities and making meetings management the way it should be, which is just easy and intuitive and something that no one needs to really think of. I should mention that this capability is and has been available for years for non-recurring events, but we're bringing this up to recurring events as well. We will continue to build upon this and add further functionality, and of course, taking into very high consideration all the feedback that we get from our customers, which is what really enables us to build better products every day. So to recap really quickly with services for recurring meetings, we have now made available the single instance management for services for recurring meetings. So if you have a recurring meeting series, you can place a service order for each of the instances, and you can differentiate it in that way so that you can personalize it the way you need to. Later on, we will add the follow the meeting intelligence. And when I say later on, it's we're really working to make it available this fall. Our team is working full speed on that direction. So we really hope to get that out very, very soon, because we know it's very needed. So stay tuned in our product updates blog, because we're really, really excited about this one, and we hope that we can communicate this out very, very soon. Those were the two features that I wanted to present today. As I said, this is a subset of our platform. This is the section of our platform that helps meeting managers and workplace administrators to really manage the activities of their workplace. And as I said, this is part of our integrated platform for meeting management. Now, the last bit that I want to share with you is just a really quick insight into our roadmap, so you guys know specifically what are we actively working on right now and what will be our immediate focus later on. So right now we are, as I said, adding full support for services for recurring meetings, where we want to easily manage recurring meetings and place service requests for them. service requests will follow meeting reschedulings and cancellations, so that you guys do not need to worry about contacting anyone, because everybody will be notified upon any meeting relevant changes. We're also adding a seamless user synchronization with app provisioning, and this is leveraging on our tight integration with different Microsoft services. In these cases with Microsoft Entra ID, which is basically the new name for the good old Azure AD, Azure Active Directory, to effortlessly manage users on AskCody. So we are taking the user synchronization and management to the next level, where you will be able to have one single source of truth to manage users, which is your Active Directory, your identity management platform, which is called now Microsoft Entra ID. And in that way, synchronize all of the changes in a timely basis to AskCody. This will also be made available this fall. Next in line is buffer time in Central. We know that when one of the characteristics of meetings, especially in law firms, is that, well, you need to prepare maybe before and after the meeting when it comes to, let's say, changing the layout of a room or making it sanitized, or serving catering to make it available for the attendees. So we know how important this buffer time, both before and after the rooms, it is, and how much law firms use it out there. So we're actually bringing this feature into more of a spotlight by showing it in Workplace Central, which is the interface that I just shared with you. So that in Workplace Central, when we drag and drop meetings, we'll be able to see which meetings have buffer time, and we'll see that with a little extra space assigned to them. You'll see it very soon if you stay tuned to our product updates, so that you can be in full control of the total duration of meetings, including this allocated time for preparation of services. We're also giving IT admins a lot more control when it comes to managing their AskCody account. This is especially useful for organizations that have multiple locations, because we understand that in some cases we want people to centrally manage the whole organization, so they're able to change meeting room settings for a meeting in Atlanta, even though they're sitting in New York, and back and forth. Or we also see the other case where, well, actually, if you're sitting in Atlanta, you should only be able to manage settings in meeting rooms in that location. So we're actually bringing this functionality into the platform to give IT admins a lot more control when it comes to scoping the access of the AskCody account based on the location where the person is located. We're also going to look into a deeper resource synchronization service with Microsoft Exchange, and for that we want to make sure that the calendar or meeting room and desk information that's sitting in Microsoft Exchange and in Active Directory as well is synchronized directly into AskCody, so that customers get really one source of truth for managing meetings, rooms, and desks, which is already in Azure AD and Exchange. Last but not least, we'll be making it a lot more easier to understand which type of meeting room you are actually moving a meeting to or about to book, by easily identifying meeting rooms with room pictures. So we'll add the possibility to have a more visual control and more visual identification of meeting rooms based on images that you can choose, and that show, well, more or less how the room looks like, and that show different features of it. So we're really excited about this one. So yeah, this is what I had to share with you today. I hope it was understandable and that it made sense. And we're very much looking forward to hear from you guys what you think, and yeah, get your feedback on it.
Thank you so much, David. Really nice to get an update on the product side of things. Now we'll go into a Q&A session, and we're really excited to see that you guys have a lot of questions. In respect of time, we'll try to take a few of them, and if you guys want to get all the answers, we can deliver an email with all the different answers. So let's try and see the first question from Tina. I would like to see a solution that allows me to book a meeting in several offices with a mix of physical attendees and remote attendees as well. Do any of you guys want to deliver an answer to Tina?
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely very much possible with AskCody. With AskCody, we come in as, say, an intelligence layer on top of Outlook and Microsoft 365, making it easy to both manage, of course, the attendees for the meeting, as well as booking and setting that up as a Teams meeting or Zoom meeting, as well as also booking multiple rooms across multiple locations in one go, where we of course take into account time zones and time differences. So with AskCody, very easy to set up multi-location meetings with Zoom or with Teams, so that you have the one click to set up and one click to join for everyone, and you both book physical workspaces as well as managing the attendees.
Great stuff, Stefan. Really nice. Going forward to the next question from James. When a last minute room change occurs, how fast for all to be updated? Maybe you have an answer to this question, David.
Yeah, I can take this one. Well, as I've mentioned before, we're very tightly integrated to Microsoft Exchange, and when I say tightly integrated, it's actually natively integrated. So we do not, when we, for example, let's say we drag and drop a meeting in Central, that we change the location or change the time, we do not really store these changes in our own calendar system, because there's no such thing. We process these changes directly in Microsoft Exchange. So when these changes are processed, everything else actually follows. So let's say we have a meeting room with services, with, let's say, catering and IT equipment ordered for the meeting. Then we change the time of the meeting. The request is sent automatically and immediately to Microsoft Exchange, where Exchange actually processes it and then sends the reply back. This usually takes, I would say, a maximum of 10 seconds, or that is the threshold that Microsoft has established for this, regardless of you using a Microsoft Outlook for iPhone or your Microsoft Outlook app for your computer, or even the online client, or AskCody for that matter. So basically, we are as fast as Microsoft Exchange is, is all I'm trying to say. When Exchange actually processes the change, everyone gets notified, and if there are service orders, for example, attached to that meeting, an email is sent immediately to those people, just notifying them of the change, where services people can choose to, well, there's been a change, can I accept the request still, or do I need to cancel it because maybe I don't have time to prepare it, or whatever it may be. And the meeting organizer also gets a ping, not only about the change of time, but also about their request, the delivery time being changed to the time of the meeting as well. So what I'm trying to say here is, as fast as Microsoft Exchange is in this case. So pretty instant, I would say.
Yeah, great stuff. We'll take one more question from James, and then we'll try to answer the rest of the question in a follow-up email. And if you guys are interested, we can deliver the questions to you guys as well. So the next question: do you have the ability to tell the system this room cannot be used by clients? So the ability to not have the room specifically for client meetings.
Yeah, with the booking functionality we provide, we at least give you the search criteria that, for one, that makes it easy to search for rooms that are set up for specific purposes, so that you can search for rooms that are set up for depositions, or for internal rooms, or for client meetings, or for what have you, and also where you can put in descriptions around that this room is not for clients because it's an internal room and you don't want a client walk through the internal part of your office. So that is definitely something there where we can help guide the end user on finding and booking the right room based on the purpose of the meeting. You can also set up with scheduling permissions in Exchange that you want where you can put in a request for a room, and then an admin can accept and reject that if you want to have that, rather than just auto accepting if the room is available. So there are different ways we can support this this scenario.
Great stuff. Next question comes from Jim, and he asks, can attendees decline attending the meeting without canceling the meeting?
I am not sure. I mean, we follow logic in Outlook when it comes to canceling or declining a meeting. So the logic that you have in Outlook is also the logic that we would use there. But also happy to follow up afterward. Oh.
I would just answer. The answer is yes. It doesn't necessarily, the normal meeting experience is in line with all the ordering and catering. But if you're just inviting, say, 15 people to a standard meeting and someone declines, it's the same way it works for Outlook in general. But that's a good question. And then to a couple questions about Zoom and Teams, the area where you can add in those types of meetings can be customized. It's super simple. And then you also, I highly recommend when you implement AskCody, go through the current process of your IT team and the AV team, and you can simplify so many steps and make the AV team so much happier, because if you present the meeting URL or the meeting ID and passcode, that's all that's needed. So that the implementation process and adoption is great, but then from making your audio video people happier, that's also a side benefit.
For sure. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
All right. I think that's all we got from now. We will also share the email addresses of Stefan and David for you guys to share any questions, and we'll share a link for setting up a demo, so you guys can do that as well if you're interested. Thank you so much for taking part of this. We will share a on-demand version of this, so you can share it internally with your teams, and rewatch it if you want to get some recalls into what we talked about in the sessions. And if you want to see more of this, go ahead and write to us. Thanks very much for joining our session. We're so happy to have you guys on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.